Leadership is actually to help every one of the team become the best version of themselves.
So true. Love it.
How love is that?
I love
It's
it.
not about how well they do the task. It's not about this.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Very different. Yep. You're almost like
Very,
a mentor and a coach at the same
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I think that actually put me into a very loving position. I feel like my heart is feeling of love and giving out this love with boundary. And it's very happy, like it's very happy. It's a different state. It's a different state.
Welcome to Playing with Perspective, the suspended animation podcast, where we hear real stories from real people and we tackle all sorts of fun topics in the areas of business, marketing, entrepreneurship, mindset, the arts, and, well, life itself. It's amazing what you will pick up. Thanks for joining us. Welcome, everyone. Darren Saul here, your host of Playing with Perspective, the suspended animation podcast. Great to be here in 2025. And I have Joanna Zhang here for episode 251. How are you doing, Joanna?
Amazing, wonderful. Starting the new
Happy New
year.
Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Did you have a nice break?
Always good to have a break, right? And it's not like everything totally stopped, but every business actually everyone started a holiday. Apparently, the mode and the rhythm has slowed down and going in holiday mood.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Good as always. Thank
Love
you.
it. Definitely, things are starting to build up again. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as a life cycle, everything has a cycle too. We do need some cycle to relieve, relax, and restart and boost again. So yeah, that's beautiful.
It's going to be a good year. And today we're going to be chatting about a very interesting topic, something that Joanna has been in transition with as well. And the title for today is, Are you a doer, manager, or a leader? So for everyone out there who doesn't know who Joanna is the founder of the Operations Genius. She transitioned from a 10-year career as a financial planner into a business systems expert. She experienced firsthand the struggles of building and managing a support team while growing a business. Through overcoming these challenges, Joanna built a world-class team and now helps other entrepreneurs scale by delegating operational tasks, allowing them to focus on their own genius. Her mission is to support growing businesses, especially B2B service owners, by providing outsourced operational solutions that boost efficiency and productivity. Love it. And this is a topic that is always getting more and more airtime because we're all feeling busier and busier. The amount of work that we have to do to keep things running is more and more. And we always want to start thinking about ways to help and delegate and outsource a lot of that kind of stuff. So we'll get into that a bit later on in the show. But I'd love to ask you, what made you make the move from a financial planner to doing what you do now?
Yeah, interesting. Hey, seems like not related at all. Yeah, but I think everything starts of our own life journey about something happened to our own life. I was working in the bank years back as a financial planner, and at that time, me and my ex-husband had a restaurant, so he really needs my help. So I quit my full-time job. That was my first change, and then to start to help like our own business. But in a way, that business is for him. It's not for me. It's not my genius zone. It's not my mission passion. And somehow I think I will start my self-employed as a financial planner on the side. And interestingly, when I start my own business as a financial planner by myself, my role has gradually changing from professional into a business owner. And I realize there's a lot new things to learn as running a business. And at the same token, I find I actually need a lot of help because I'm not perfect. And then especially I'm not DIY style. There's something that I'm really not good at, such as IT or marketing, those sort of things. So I really need someone to help me. So when I start my business, I started to find people overseas. That was about 7-8 years ago. I started to find people, nearly 10 years, find people overseas to find me to help my business. Tell me, I had a lot of challenges and hurdles, everything's this math. drama, whatever. But fortunately enough, because I made a decision to make a change, I made a decision to step into a new field, make the decision to start something new, and I got opportunity to learn something new as well.
Right.
And fortunately enough, because of that experience, I started to form a star team. Like I call it star team because everyone is specialized in their genius zone. They're good at certain different things. And I have my genius zone too. And now we're actually leveraging these teams' resources to help other mind, like the business owners who really want to scale up their business, right? With all this support. So that's how I started this
Wow. And
business.
so
Yeah.
what's your genius zone?
Oh, interestingly, like that, I did actually did a interesting test before I started this business. Even when I was a financial planner, I put all my incompetence, competence, excellence, and genius right on a piece of paper, including my life skill, everything like that. And surprisingly, not surprisingly, like as I mentioned, incompetence is like IT or marketing something straight away incompetent. I need to delegate that part straight away because it's driving me mad. I spend hours when someone else can take 20 minutes do such a wonderful job. Why
Yeah.
not delegate, right?
Yeah.
And then surprisingly at the time, what I found out is financial planning, it's really landing in my competence strong. It's not even my genius. The competence part is I can do it very well, but I don't really love that dearly. Like the passion is not there. And then I realized I'm actually very right brain person. Financial planning is very left brain, actually, to be honest, right? Numbers,
Very
strategies, those sort of
analytical,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, so then that actually is a waking call for myself. So, wow, if it's not my genius zone, what I'm doing as a financial planner, I need to make some change. And then when I delve down as excellence and a genius, I find out something about building the trust and creating networking, collaboration, and helping others solve the problem. And it's become a part of me that's very hard to be how to say it doesn't even need to be trained. It's just part of me.
Yeah.
Then
It's
I
just
found that's my genius. Yeah.
so you're a real purebred entrepreneur and business collaborator and networker and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably that's my soul power. And I
Yeah,
really
love it.
found out by then. Yes.
And so I want to talk a bit more about this transition from moving from doer to manager to leader. Tell us more
Yes.
about that, how that happened with you and what were the challenges?
Start from the first step, from a doer to a manager. I think a lot of us, when we start our business, let's say, put this way, right? We need to think about everything and we do everything to start with and we put everything together. At a time, we need to really go down to the details to do every single step, everything.
Yeah.
So at a time, I was a doer. And then when I started to delegate, I find out, oh, I don't have to do everything, right? I can actually leverage and delegate other people to do something. But still, at that time, I'm at a stage of from doing myself and give others. And then that was from doer to manager. There's a way of how to delegate, what to delegate, and how to really manage the deadline and expectations and quality, everything like that. It's a transition from a doing by myself being itchy to do by myself, and push it on. So even not like our teams, some leaders in our team have the habit of itchiness because sometimes something what we do by ourselves, it's very simple and easy, and we have to spend a lot of time and effort to explain to other person, especially when the outcome is not really up to our expectation. We always have itchiness. Oh, I just quickly fix it. Other than yeah. That was one of the biggest change or probably the challenge as well. And in my journey from a doer to manager is to get rid of the itchiness of doing by myself.
Love that. Very interesting. And so how did you train yourself to do that? Was it hard?
It is hard, to be honest, because everything is within the comfort zone is comfortable. Going outside of the zone is not that easy. But in saying that, because depends on where we're looking at things. If I really wanted to uplift the performance, improve the efficiency, I have my own bottleneck from skill and time, everything like that. I have to leverage other skills and be part of it, right? In saying that, because the drive is there, the inner drive is there, I had to make some change. So I did make some effort to spend some time to train others. During this process, there's a lot of thing about Lego of expectations.
Yep.
For example, lower the expectations. Lack of control is a big topic, but step by step, at least building the trust, let other to handle something and allow the mistakes, all those sort of things, right? So you have to at least make it happen. And then I gradually find out, oh, actually, when I loosen up and give other person a chance, that actually turns out at the end, there's a big surprise for myself because they may turn up some beautiful result. It's really out of my imagination. Yeah.
Okay.
So because I started to trust and let go of the control, let go of the expectations, so the magic started to happen. And ultimately, the result is I relieved myself. And that's the beauty part, right? So I had to put some effort at the beginning, of course, and then the end result is so beautiful. So that's from doer to manager.
Yeah, right. And so I really want to drill down into the next transition, manager to leader. What's the difference and how do you do that?
Right, right. Actually, that time, I remember years back, there was always something leadership this was showing up in my world. But at that time, I didn't understand what is leadership. I'm not a leader. I didn't really understand because there's a different change of mindset from professional to business owner, and by doing myself, doing manager, it's a lot of changes, right? I don't need other changes. Yeah, I to be honest, I think when we talk about becoming a leader, that's when I started to have other leaders under me. So let's say from manager to leader is managing is more like into the details, right? And then managing because at the time when I started my business, I was a project manager. I was actually allocating the tasks to everyone. So it's still a delegation part, right? So putting the puzzle together, make sure the deadline, everything like that. And then I found, oh, my time is one thing is my time is a stretch out again.
Definitely.
Another thing is it actually put me into a very stressful zone sometimes because I'm still in the zone of I couldn't really put myself on the business has a broad view to have a vision to drive my business further. And that's the time I started to think about it. Oh, probably I need to let someone else to be this project manager. Then I can be really become like an owner of you, right? So see to drive the whole business further, not just to stack in all the tasks.
Yeah.
So that was the drive for me to really make the change. And once again, it's not that easy. Again, it's out of the comfort zone. I think the main thing was huge trust as well. Again, because you used to be the project manager, now you handle your project to someone else. A lot more mistakes happen again.
Yeah.
Of course. Because that's inevitable. I think that's something happen or always happen. But the main thing is it turns out is we can if we can learn from every mistakes, we can always make changes, right? But if we fear of making those let things happen and then but of course we have our boundary, right? Not affecting the clients and the reputation or the credibility, whatever, to make sure but we allow something happen. So I think my fear zone, how to say, I allow myself to fear a bit less and open a bit more and take a bit more risk. Yeah. And then let more people to get into this project manager zone. Then I can start to be on another level to look after the sales, marketing, and accounts. Although I have a energy to do that. Yeah. So that was the big change during that time.
Nice. There's a lot to unpack there because first of all, is how do you find that right person? Like finding that right person to be the project manager is, and to trust that person is the hard part. But the second part is, you mentioned a few times, when you go through this process, the initial phase is more mistakes. And how do you manage that period? And when do you say, okay, no, or let's continue? Or how do you stop yourself from getting involved and trying to fix everything?
Oh, very good question.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Because it is very tricky because it's a journey of trial and error. Same as entrepreneurship, the whole journey, even like our life, is a trial and error.
Right.
So I think at the time, first of all, was a mindset change. Is that if I do need to pass this one to someone else, I do need to allow things happen, right? So that's the first of all. I open the door. And the second step, as you mentioned, is very important, is how to find the right person during the process when I was working with others, I realized the perfect one is very hard to find.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe, yeah, it depends on fortunate, the time, divine timing, everything like that. But the main thing is that from now until then, how can I actually create something not disturb my business? It's not like when I'm looking for the person, suddenly this person turns up. And even when this person is perfect, no one knows what's happened next.
That's
Because
right.
this person may actually say, oh, have some other plans, right? I'm pregnant, I'm getting married, I'm moving to another country, whatever reason, I'm sick. I realize there's no perfect person, but it can be a perfect team. We
Yes.
can't duplicate people, but we can duplicate the system. So from then
Perfect.
on, I realized I need to do some change again, right? So building a team other than rely on individual person, building a system other than rely on duplicate the skills there,
Love it. Love it.
right? Yeah. And then the third one, as you mentioned, when I start to work with someone, now let's say like we have a team of people. How do we actually work with them and then find out where to say yes, no, and go, whatever? Is what I find out is first of all, I give everyone a chance. I start to trust them first and give them actually most of them start try with my business first.
Okay.
So I give them my internal task
Nice. Nice.
to try,
Yeah.
right? Because of that, I can see their capabilities, trustworthy and efficiency, everything, and the potential. I want to understand their genius zone. I want to understand their aspiration as well. I want to understand the way that the willingness to grow in certain areas so I can help them to grow.
Mhm.
So because of that, I can find what they're good at, what's their potential. And they have a passion too.
Yep.
And because of that, we have a lot of unlimited possibilities shows up in the team. So from that perspective, when we find out someone actually make the mistakes, right? Of course, apparently, first step is that they need to have an attitude of admit that's their
Yep.
mistake,
That's right.
right? If they don't admit it, if they're mistakes, it's an attitude issue regardless how good this person's skill is, it's very hard to work with this kind of person for the long term.
Yep.
If this person is like that, I'd rather say probably we're not good fit,
Yep.
right? However, if this person admit, all right, it's really my mistakes, then we figure out how we can improve to avoid the same thing happen. Then we'll give this person another chance to try, right? Some people may change. Some people change quickly like that and they pick up, they improve. Some people, they do happen, repeatedly saying mistakes.
Oh boy. Yep.
Then, yeah, there are some people like that. Then again, probably we need to figure out whether that's their capability things. Maybe that's something they're not really good at.
Yeah.
Or probably there's something stuck in their soul as a habit, as a person. Some people can say something very nice, but they don't do it.
Yeah.
Integrity. They
Yeah.
don't have integrity.
Yeah.
So for this kind of person, we'll probably work with a few times. If they're really hitting our boundary, not going to change, again, it's not good fit.
Yep.
But we give this person chance, right? So it is a filtering process. I have to say for our team members, they all start working with my business. And then, we filter them out along the way. And now because when we actually work with other clients, we have peace of mind. We know how good they are, what they can do. Because ultimately those are the stress I went through when I was working on my own business.
Exactly.
That's our mission and passion. We want to remove those stress from other business owners.
Yeah.
Because we have so much more important things to focus on, right? Yeah. So
That's a really good. That's a really good. Yeah, really good insight. And I think what I've learned is if people can do this, is maybe hire a VA for their own internal work first, trial them out, and then you get to know when you can start using them for client work.
Exactly, 100%. I only refer those people to my clients when I confident, right? When they already prove to me how good they are. So that's why another thing that about the VA industry, I have to say, majority of the people that they're providing talent hunt model, like the agent is looking for someone. I think it's very important for this agent really work with this person before. I understand probably from Upwork or Fiverr, you can find someone really cost effective. But a lot of people give me feedback is that they have a lot of stress because no one really know their credibility.
Right.
So depends on you whether you want it cheaper or you want a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Whether you want it like a lower cost or you want a quality. It's a choice. There's no right or wrong. It's
Yeah,
just what
sure.
it is,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I agree. And everybody's got a different set of circumstances and have a different needs as to what they can forego and what they can't. So I suppose, but
Yeah.
as you say, I think it's really important to try and test them out in less sensitive areas first, get to know them, get to know their genius, get to know how good they are. And then you also touched on systems, and I wanted to get there as well. I think that's really, really important, because a team is great, but without systems, a team can still fall apart.
Yeah, 100%. A system is like a skeleton.
Yeah.
It's
You
like a
need
skeleton of
systems.
the business. And team members are the flesh and the muscles,
I
you know,
like
like
that.
to
That's cool.
form the whole thing.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so
That's how I
what advice would you give people as to how they build good systems as they're moving through the process?
I think everyone is really different because everyone we have a different genius zone, right? Regardless whether you are a details oriented and can really list the process very well, or you're a big structure thinking like myself, I'm like a skeleton type. Regardless what styles we are, as a business owner, we better start somewhere.
Yeah.
Start somewhere. Even start with one task. Doesn't matter. A lot of time people procrastinate it because they think, oh, that's too much. Oh my God, it's too hard. How can I build a whole system? But we don't have to. We can one way do it and build it and improve it along the way and then to streamline it. Like it's a process, but at least start somewhere. It's probably is a good start is for some business, right? The business owner can either start with a simple task, like a social media task,
Yep.
right?
Perfect.
So when you actually start to have this thinking in your mind, you can start to think about what are the channels, how many times a week, what type of post I wanted to put on.
Yeah.
And then you can put it in the document, like a word, whatever, like you can put it somewhere. And then once you start to have someone to work with you, you can start to create the calendars, those sort of things, give your feedback. You can gradually structure this document, become a nearly perfect, like you feel like, oh, that's
training module,
definitely
training manual. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Something like that. Because this one carries the essence of your work, right? The way you like, the way you wanted to carry on with the consistency. So this document can be handed over to anyone to work on down the track.
Yeah.
And I believe that's the true valuable things, assets for the business,
Sure.
right? So that will actually avoid the dangerous or the risk of relying on individual person. Because if everything is relying on this person, nothing captured. Once this person, anything happen, whatever reason,
Yep. Oh God.
the business stops. You know,
Yep.
this task, so yeah, you have to restart again, yeah, and retraining again.
Oh God.
So I think start somewhere is very important. Gradually, when you start it, that's one way to start from task. Another way is that when the business grow to a certain stage, you can see, oh, my business is like a house. It's from one bedroom start to be two bedroom, becomes three bedroom. What I mean is that, oh yeah, big is bigger, but in terms of that is that, oh, I have a marketing side, I have a sales side, I have a administration side, I have an HR side, I have an account side. So we can put this, doesn't matter the big or small houses, but the structure is important. So you can start to think structurally, how can I put a simple document to start with? How I want to deal with my accounts, how I want to maintain my websites, how I wanted to start my lead generation process, right? How I started to go with my marketing rhythm. Those sort of things. Simple is fine, but you can develop. You can always develop. So yeah, that probably that's my advice, to start somewhere.
Start somewhere. And I like that saying of building the plane while you're in the air.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and of course we've got the plane in the background there for you as well. But yeah. I like that philosophy. We can't have everything done and built perfectly before we start. Sometimes you just got to build it while you're flying.
Yeah, yeah. And by saying that too, we make sure that it's safe too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Make sure we got petrol, you know.
Yeah. That's right. We got the essential parts to fly, and we can always build it into a different shape or maybe a different size of the plane.
Yeah.
And I use this as analogy, and thanks for mentioning it. Why we're using that is because we always have a mission passion, want to help the business owner become the pilot of their business. And
Nice.
think about it. If the pilot constantly worry about, oh, is the passenger has a drink, right? Is this engine losing oil or
Yeah,
something?
that's
Yeah,
right.
how can they focus on flying to the destination? And because as a pilot is the most trusted person to take all the passengers to the destination they all want to go to.
For sure.
So it's good for this pilot to focus on the directions, right? And
Yeah.
then to really focus on their genius. And that's exactly our team. What you can see this where is this us people, this is like representing the team. So we customize our teams and fill in those gaps and make sure the business owner have peace of mind. Okay, I can drive my plane to the destination. Yeah, that's analogy. That's why we use it.
Yep, very cool. And one thing I just want to expand on from a systems point of view is
Yes.
how important is video for you? Do you use video when you build your modules and training manuals for your team?
Oh, wow, very important. I think because everyone has different learning styles, right? It's important to capture all different sort of formats. And mainly is writing and the visual. Someone like to read, they can capture details, and someone like to visual. And also because if you have a multiple different type of, or maybe sound, some people like sound, the more styles the better because every team members are different
Yeah.
and they probably can absorb something from somewhere. Yeah, and actually it's not that hard to do because that probably doesn't too long if we explain to it. But if anyone has questions, I'm happy to connect.
Yeah.
If you have some challenges, or I'm happy to collaborate on that, how exactly to do it. But I think the way of thinking is to have those structure though, that's important. And
Yeah.
thanks for mentioning it.
Yeah, I think it's because video is so powerful these days, and to have some kind of visual resource center of videos is fantastic, as well as
Yeah.
written documentation in your training. Yeah.
100%.
Love it.
Yeah, spot on.
Now, Joanna, I'd love to learn a bit more about how your leadership style has changed over the years.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so we was just talking about the leadership, and I thought, oh, leadership become leader, and that's it. But
Yeah,
actually, it turns out there's a lot more into it.
that's
The
right.
one there's a lot of leadership coaches. There's a lot into it. So for my personal journey, I actually transitioned from the first as a title leader, as I mentioned, right? I start a business, I call myself whatever director or CEO, whatever it is. So I have a title.
Yep.
And the people who work with me, of course, listen to me as you're the owner, you're the boss, right?
Yep.
So I have to listen to you.
Yeah.
And at that particular time when people working with me, even though I'm not manager level anymore, I lead those people. I had a title leader is that okay, I gave you these things to do. That's what I expect. That's pretty much it. That's that stage. And then I found that was a bit lacking of empathy and collaboration and support, those sort of things. But I did went through that stage. I did have that masculine energy of the bang, 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 like just do it.
Just get it done.
Yeah, get it done. No hassle, right? Like that. Anyway, yeah, I've been there, done that. But what I found is that actually gradually when I work with the people, it's my personal growth as well. And as a person, as a mom, and as a woman growing to middle age, it's something happened to my life too. I realized with people, I can't just be like that. And then I realized there's another style. I didn't realize the style of name. I just later on after from one of Tony Robbins' session, I heard about title leader, and then it's a service leader. So the second is a service leader. Yes. I realized I gradually from bang, 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 do it, started to ask them, oh, what support do you need? Can I help you? Because that's the thing, as you mentioned, when I transition of giving the task with my expectations, and I want to find, other than just tell them what they need to do, if I ask them what help I can provide, they actually perform better.
Yeah.
They actually turns out more magic and more surprise for me. So why not? And I'm more relaxed too in a way that I know I feel comfortable too. If someone actually treating me like that, I feel very comfortable, right? So it's likewise. We're providing the support to others to give them help. And they feel very happy and comfortable, and they open their hearts as well.
Yeah. And that's also, if I can just jump in, that's also really the difference between being a delegator as opposed to a leader. Two very different things. Anybody can just delegate a task, But to
Yeah.
lead is another whole skill set.
100%, 100%. Yeah, totally spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's actually another stage, and then
Oh,
that's
wow.
the stage I'm still working on. It's a spiritual leader.
Oh,
Spiritual leader. Interesting, because I think spiritual is about balance. Right. Let's say now from the just delegation, we're going to support, delegate and support, right?
yep.
But still we a lot of time can find the the way of handling things does need a, because we all have a masculine energy when we want things to get done. We also have our feminine energy, we have empathies.
Sure.
And I often find, even including myself, had those times that not balanced. Sometimes I really wanted things and I forgot about the other side. Or I really soft,
Yeah.
forgot about a boundary, you know. I
It's
heard many
hard.
people
It's hard
mention
to find that balance sometimes.
very hard to find, and it's a life, and it actually happens in my life too. I think when I treat not just with my team members, I'm actually dealing with my surroundings. I actually, how to say, even with myself, I don't have the patience. I don't have too much expectations. I don't love myself enough. I don't have enough balance on myself. How can, if I don't have it,
Yeah.
how can I give it to others? Actually, it's along with my
That's okay.
self growth.
Yep.
Yeah. Once I start to love myself more, I realize I have a stronger boundaries that apply to my families. They also apply to my team. It's one, how to say, it's a
The holistic,
essential from
it's one,
ourselves.
yeah, it comes from within. Yeah.
Come with within. Yeah, exactly. When we change, the world around us change.
Yes,
That's simple
absolutely.
as it
Yeah,
is.
because our
Yeah.
perspective starts to change as well as we change.
Exactly,
Yeah,
100%.
I like that.
And I realized when I started to, I'm still working in this process, right? So I realized I start to have a more team members, have a more aligned team members to work together because they all wanted to grow in a way, they all want to become a leader. And the once I heard someone, they told me one sentence. I think that's essence of leadership. This person says leadership is actually to help every one of the team become the best version of themselves.
So true. Love it.
How love is that?
I love
It's
that.
not about how well they do the task. It's not about this.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, very different. Yep. You're almost like a mentor and a coach at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I think that actually put me into a very loving position. I feel like my heart is feeling of love and giving out this love with the boundary. And it's very happy. Like it's very happy. It's a different state. It's a different
Yeah,
state.
very much so.
It's not easy,
Yeah, I'm glad you
but
brought that
it's
up because I wanted to really tackle one more question about leadership, and that is, how do you develop leaders in your team?
thank you for asking. Okay. I think because once I realized that leadership is to help everyone become the best version of themselves, I started to truly care every single team member as a person, as a soul. It's not about forget about the work. Work is just something on the way to carry out.
Yeah.
But I care more about their current challenges in their life,
Mm.
about their own blockages on becoming a leader because I personally experienced that. So
Yeah.
sometimes when we catch up with a leadership meeting, we talk about the case study, right? It's happening around our life about this client, what happened, about that team member, what happened. And I want to understand their view of it. And I can see where is the lacking part or where's the part they want to grow into. Then I just share my story. I don't even need to teach them something. I
Oh,
share my story
that's cool.
and help them to loosen up and to give it a try. And turns out one person learned it. And then they feel like, oh, there's some change in my life. I feel it's before I was manager, I was so stressed, but now I'm relaxed, right? And I can guide others, help others. And once this person become a leader and there's a new leader come in, this person can help another person. And I keep growing too. And it's like a ripple effect.
I like that. Yeah.
It starts from me and the ripple effect, and people help people, and everyone help everyone. And also, the another thing is that in a team, we have a different style too. And that's why team is important. Some people masculine energy be stronger, some feminine a bit stronger, especially if this leader is not balanced as yet. They can
Mm.
work together as a team to lead outcome like that. So
Very true.
it's like we grow together, basically. We grow together.
And you're also trying to match certain leaders in certain functions with certain clients, depending on their style.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Because everybody's a little different. Some people fit well here and not so well here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's part of as a leadership too, is that because we want everyone to become the best version of themselves, it's like this world is like a puzzle. Every soul has been created with uniqueness.
Yeah.
There's no comparison, but if we work together as a puzzle together, it's a beautiful picture
I
together.
love that.
So
Very
if we
cool.
know where they're good at, where to be good fit in, and they happy, we happy, clients happy, it's a win-win-win situation.
Love it.
Why not?
Sounds
Yeah.
pretty good to me. Yep, that's really cool. I like that. Yeah. Now, Joanna, tell us a bit more about how you actually work and how clients can work with you. What's the process involved if they want to help in outsourcing certain tasks?
Right. Thank you for asking. So the way we work together, first of all, is that from our perspective, we wanted to understand what exactly our clients' blockage are. It's similar as helping our team members, right? So
Yeah.
where are you at? What's the blockage? And we figure it out. First step, I want to actually help our clients to reduce the stress on something burning out. Like something very urgent on their plate. They really wanted it to happen.
Yep.
Because a lot of people
Yeah.
have a frustration that, oh, I really wanted to happen. Nothing happened, or nothing happened really according to my expectation. So we sort out that part first. That's our first step.
Yep.
The second step, once the first part sorted out, and then they trust the team, they know how to work together, and they have confidence to pass on ad hoc. That's done. The second part is from the first step, we can gradually find out what are the momentum tasks. So momentum tasks are the ones that happen regularly, like social media, like a newsletters,
Yep.
like a leads generations,
Yep.
all those
Or
areas.
accounting or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll figure out those parts. The reason for that is relate to the system. So it's not like we're not like just doers. We wanted to help business become the partner to building their machine because we understand that's essentially the business most important assets for the business. When we find a momentum, we can create a momentum for the business owners. They started to have peace of mind, regardless what happened to themselves, right? Sometimes I hang out on holiday and do this, do that, but business still up and running. So, and then we find the structures and right peoples and backups and system, everything like that, and streamline their process and then improve their process document, SOP, whatever it is, building the system. So that's the second step. The third step is after first and second is done. The third step is what are the potentials? Oh, when we talk about it, I realize it's really like when we're helping other people.
Yeah, very much so.
What are the potentials, right? A lot of time when we're having these things done, we know there's actually other things on my back burner or on my list. I never really thought that could be possible.
Yeah.
Now let's have a look at what are the possibilities. Let's create that together. Because now you have a capacity, you have the peace of mind. Let's create a better future, right? So gradually from that step, there'll be a scaling up and growth phase. And the last, not the least, because our name is Operations Genius. As a business owner, I'm more like to really, I'm not treating it like a business. I treat every single business as a soul. I call myself an entrepreneur soulmate.
Oh, I love that.
I love to collaborate and always grow together, like with any of other of my team members. So we grow together on this journey. I love to find out what exactly their genius zone is. I like to be an accountability partner on the journey to keep reminding them, focus on your genius, and you can do this. And when you do the things you love to do, the magic does happen. Yeah, so that's literally 4 steps, right? Yeah.
Love it. And
Did I explain?
Yeah, of course. Do you specialize in any particular areas more so than others, or you can help businesses in any capacity?
So from the areas of the skills, we mainly focus on the repetitive and how to say, give you some examples, right? So anything related, for example, marketing, lead generation, social media, the video editings, website building, and simple website building, and the maintenance and lead generation flows and automations for you to set up the automations.
Nice.
Yeah, and then some basic admins, the diary management and design the presentations or design the brochures, branding. So you can think about it, regardless how big or small the business is, we all need this kind of help.
Yeah.
So the beauty of the team is that we all have a specialist in the team. That's the first thing. We have all the skills, right? Second thing is that I really wanted to provide flexibility to the business owners because that was my challenge before. I need a little help. Right? It's very hard to find all this in one person. How can one person deliver all that?
Sure.
But if I need a multiple person, I don't have the budget, right?
Yeah.
Attend full-time, part-time. It's not my stage. That's why I figured out this model is that all these people have the skills. We can customize the team, fitting into the gap according to the budget.
I like that.
So that's the beauty part. We wanted to really add value to the business owner is that they can pick the skills they want based on the business needs from the time. There's no set in stone you have to do something, and there's no lock-in times.
Love it. So in other words, they engage you to help them solve a problem, and you will allocate that task to different people depending on what the problem is.
Exactly. So they give me the problems, I find the solutions. Basically, we can leverage our resources.
That's great.
Yeah, to find the solutions. And then they don't have to worry about the hiring, finding, or those sort of things, and quality, because our team can really internalize all those processes. And if something sometime happens, this person have some other things to leave on, we have internal backup systems. We make sure whatever happens, the things can continue going on.
Nice.
So the business owner, once they leave this problem to us, they don't have to think about it, right? They can focus on something else. Because previously, a lot of stress actually coming from working with VAs. I know that I've been there, done that, and then many of our clients had experience. Yeah. And at the end, they even feel like I'd rather do by myself because the bad experience. And that's exactly the stress we wanted to take away from the business owners. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to stop there. You don't have to really burn you out. There are other solutions. If you can just be open to it, happy to try, you may find that there are some other magics.
I love it. Amazing. That's really, really interesting and really well executed and articulated so people can understand a different way of thinking about virtual assistants and outsourcing. Really cool.
Right.
Excellent, Joanna. So, Joanna, if people want to find you and work with you and learn about what you do, what's the best way?
Oh, I think connect me on LinkedIn. That'll be the best. I think Darren has my LinkedIn, so probably you can share with your audience. Another thing, a little gift I want to give your audience is that, let me think, probably I have a guide that actually help people, especially started to think about start to delegate.
Oh, cool.
Probably in that phase. Yeah. And then I can give a guide and you can find some tips how to structure those things, how to start to delegate. At least start somewhere. And then feel free to connect with me and then collaborate. And I'm happy to. That's my favorite thing. That's my genius part, collaboration.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I just love that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That'd be awesome. And I'll make sure I put all the links and the links to the guide in the show notes as well. So really appreciate that. But that was really great. It was a fascinating discussion about the transition from doer to manager to leader, because it's not as simple and linear as it sounds. And there are lots of different facets to it, to every stage. And we're always learning. We're continually evolving forever. So there's no one that's ever reached the plateau in their self-development.
Yeah, 100%. And then one more thing to add, each word, there's no judgment on it, right or wrong, whatever it is. It depends on what we want in this journey. We start a business because we believe we have some genius to help certain group of people with something. But if we're actually stuck in the doer state or even manager state, we can get it, but it'll probably be harder for us to get there quicker or with the bad quality, with a happy state, with whatever it is. It's your choice. There's just a choice. And it's at the end of the day, it's up to you to make that decision, to make the move. Yes.
I love it. What a beautiful way to finish. Well done. Well, Joanna, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was really great to talk to you. I'm sure everybody will enjoy that as much as I did. And we'll make sure that we link all those fantastic resources and details in the notes. But everybody check out Joanna. If you need some help, have a chat about what she can provide. And she's fantastic at what she does. And she'll help you fly the plane in the right direction.
Yes, this way. All right. Stay around.
Well done, everybody. We'll see you next time for our next episode of Playing with Perspective, the Suspended Animation Podcast. Bye for now. Thanks again for joining me for another episode of Playing with Perspective, the Suspended Animation Podcast. If you would like to join me as a guest on the show, I would be delighted to collaborate. Just reach out via www.suspendedanimation.com.au. Also, remember to click on the link in the show notes for loads of great podcasting resources, webinars, courses, and opportunities to help you on your podcast journey. Many of them free. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.